Greetings, my name is Rob Chapman. You might not know who I am. I've been gigging, touring for many years. I own a guitar company and I've been signed a couple of times. In fact, I'm currently talking to a record label right now about signing a new deal. The reason I'm telling you that is because I'm about to give you advice on taking steps in your first gig, or maybe even your first tour, or something to do with live playing. And I'd like to give you the benefit of all of my mistakes, lots of years of completely messing up and doing all sorts of embarrassing things that you can learn from without having to make these mistakes yourself. I really hope that this is useful for you, practical, and that the outcome is that you enjoy the live experience much more, because live music is so important. I can't tell you how important it is to get out and play to people. You will make connections that you cannot make online. There is a massive, diverse difference between the kind of connection that we're making now, which can be good, and actually being, with me or anybody in their presence and having a musical experience. So let me help you from the perspective of a guitar company owner, someone who's been signed, somebody who's charted, not as a humble brag, but just this is what I think you can do to make things easier, more enjoyable, and ultimately more profitable. First things first, let's get straight to the point. Whether it's your first gig, your first tour, you're doing a one-man band with a backing track, or you've got 8 dancers behind you, like my wife, it doesn't matter. Whether you like it or not, you will be judged and you will leave an impression. And the only person that has any kind of effect on that impression really is you. There are so many things that you can do to leave a good impression. Listen, the music industry is tiny. It's really small. Everybody, by maybe 4 people, will know everyone. And I mean everyone. It will blow your mind, the people that will come up and say, oh yeah, man, I really like that. I'm David Coverdale's brother. Or, yeah, that was great. I'm James Lomenzo from Megadeth. Bass tech. I'm talking about real things that happen to me here. You will meet all sorts of people, and it's important to leave a good impression. So how do you do that? You know what? Here are a couple of things. Make the tea. This is quite a British thing, but actually it's real. Turn up. Everybody's tired. They've ran from work, parked in that awkward place. They're going to get a little ticket for parking somewhere. They've had to run in with all the gear. They're setting it up. They've got half an hour to get, maybe a line check or whatever. People could do with a coffee or a tea. Get in a bunch of coffees and teas at your own expense from somewhere nice. Bring them in and say, hey guys, just to let you know, I got coffees, help yourself. A small gesture like that goes such a long way. If you make the tea, that's rule number 1. Number 2, you're there if you are a support act to support. Now that doesn't just mean you get up on stage and you get the benefit of playing your music to the audience that the main act brought with them. Support that band, help them, because you have no idea where that might take you in the future. Talking from personal experience here. Help them with their gear. Is there a drummer? Help him set up a kit. You don't know how to set up a drum kit and it's just you and a backing track? Learn how to set up a drum kit and help the drummer. Things like this. People will start talking about it. Do you remember that band? And they helped us bring in the drum kit. It goes a long way. And I know right now there are people hammering into the comment section saying, hell yeah, I remember this guy that came in and restrung the bass guitar and then rewired the PA and then watched us play our set. And that's the next point. Actively engage in the music of the bands around you when you're playing. So if I turn up and I'm playing a headline gig and there are 2 bands supporting, I'm going to watch those bands. I want to see what they're like. I want to know what they're like as people and what they're like as musicians. And if you just sit in your green room with your burger and your phone and then when they're finished, you hear them coming out, you go, right, okay, time to go in. You're not being a part of that community. Building a band of brothers. Don't forget, your vibe attracts your tribe. You want to have a tribe of people like-minded. And listen, there are billions of people on this planet with ears and eyes, blessed to have the senses to witness your musical output. So actively be a part of that community so that you reach the people that will like your music. Sometimes even if you don't like your music, somebody else will like it. Okay, super important stuff. Bring these things with you. Be the person who is prepared, armed, ready to go. You need strings. Ernie Ball are the best. Bring snacks, because the worst thing that can happen is you run out of time, your blood sugar's low, you're irritable, people are getting snarky. You see a vocalist on stage, he's about to go on and he's really pissed off. He needed a snack. Doesn't have to be a nature bar, it could be anything good, banana, whatever. Now this is supposed to be representative of gaffer tape. You need gaffer tape or gorilla tape, anything like that. But also bring pedalboard tape, because you never know when you might want to swap out a pedal. You're going to go for a blues driver rather than your red rocket missile machine, whatever it is. Bring the tapes that stick things down. And gaffer tape, oh my God, a million times gaffer tape has saved my life, whether it's connecting a broken input, marking out an area where I need something, literally taping a stage together that I fell through. All sorts of things can be fixed with gaffer tape. You can make a wallet, you can make a fucking boat with gaffer tape, okay? In-ears. Very important to bring in-ears. If you have in-ears, spare in-ears. Fast fret, because when you're touring, your strings are going to feel like rubbish. You're not going to want to change them every day. It's very expensive. Fast fret at the end of every show, give it a rub down, you'll be good to go. This is the best stuff in my opinion. Spare strap locks. I've had strap locks break and fail on me because on stage, you're an animal. So bring spare strap locks. This just represents any kind of strap lock. But in my opinion, Dunlop make the best strap locks. These are incredibly useful. Not even for you, maybe for someone else. With the little USB output, the old style, bring a spare one of these, because you never know when someone goes, oh man, I needed to charge that thing and I haven't got a thing to do it with this. And an adapter for different power supplies, because you might find somebody from America or from continental Europe came over with a thing and they needed this. Slides, I recommend you bring slides. Even if you don't use a slide, somebody may need a slide. Do you see what I'm saying? Be the useful person that's helpful, that people can turn to, and you go, oh, I've got a slide, here you go. They'll be like, oh man, thank you so much. I just found this and thought it was really cool, so I'm just going to share it with you. This is called a pick box. It goes on your pedal board. Look at this thing. It goes on your pedal board. You put picks inside it, and then it clips onto your pedal board. Be the guy that has loads of picks. Headstock tuner, in my opinion, Cherub Tech or New X make the best headstock tuners. They're really good. You can calibrate them all sorts of different ways. Okay, these are really cool. Not in-ears. These are ear plugs, but you can change the filter on the side to allow more or less high-end through, that kind of thing. They're really good. You're going to have to wear earplugs, because if you're at the venue and you've got 3 bands doing a sound check, you've got 3 drummers or whatever, you will progressively get hearing loss whether you like it or not. You need earplugs. And then the last thing is you absolutely need the Chipson humbucker belt buckle. It's very easy nowadays to go into music and live performance with kind of a cynical, downtrodden attitude. We're never going to make any money. No one's going to come and see us play. Listen, life is a game, and you can choose to play the game and make everything fun and an adventure, or you can choose that the game is difficult, depressing, hard work, futile, and then your game will be that way inclined. Press the button of fun. Enjoy your live experience. If the bar staff are there to play to, give them the fucking show of their life. You know, just enjoy the experience, because it just takes one person every show to think, wow, this band is amazing, and follow you and buy a vinyl, or actually audio cassettes are quite cool. I want to start making those. And you'll grow the following. It's more important about the depth of connection you have with the people than just the follow. Don't bother running around going, hey, follow our Instagram, and they just click and then that's it. That's not a real follow. You want people to really be involved with you, your music, your band on a deeper connected level. So make friends. That's really what it's about. You've got to get out there and make friends. It's much easier if you're doing local circuit tours, and I'm talking about England from this point of view, to just get a big estate car, fill it with the bare minimum of gear that you need, you know, shrink everything down. Nowadays, it's so easy. When you've got stuff like this Trident from New X, or you've got tiny, high-powered bass combos. You know, there's going to be a PA at the venue. Get the drummer to slim down a little bit somehow. You know, doesn't need a giant rack tom, all that kind of stuff. Just make it shrink down. Fit it in an estate car. And then you can tour really, really affordably with one vehicle. It's a bit cramped. We've all slept in a Volvo. I know I have a lot of times. But you can make it work. And then it's just fuel and parking. When it comes to making money from playing, obviously the fee for playing a gig varies depending on the country you're in, the kind of venue you're playing, what kind of music. Are you a DJ or are you a guitar player in a rock band like me? I would forget all of that. I would just say there's no money from the fee of playing and go on the assumption that you have to make the money when you get there. So the way I would do that is I would sell things. If you don't have something to sell, how will you make the money? Now, you don't need to sell vinyl, although that's a really cool thing to sell. It's a great collectible merch concept. You don't need to sell t-shirts. Everybody sells t-shirts. Again, although they're cool, think out of the box. Go and look at some of the merch sites that you can find that will produce a million cool things that people might need. Think about what people want and need, especially if the audience is going to be musicians. What do they really want? Do they want a branded chocolate bar? I would. Do they want a packet of coffee? I would. Think out of the box. Think differently. But bring something to sell. And tell people that you will be selling it before you get there. Imagine that you're a business and that your business runs along the same pathways and structures as any other mundane business. You are a taxi rank. You are a corner shop. You are a cafe. It doesn't matter. It's the same principles. You need something to sell. You need a purchase and a sales ledger. What you are buying to sell, how much it costs, and what you are selling. Filled in every day. Keep receipts. You need a box to put receipts in for everything that you spend, so that when you do your taxes, you have money set aside for taxes and you've got income and it's all provable. Otherwise, at some point, it's just going to be a nightmare. I speak from experience. Last couple of things, tidying up. You need a small practice amplifier. If you're a singer, bring tea bags. Bring a flask so that you can walk off somewhere, do some gargling, do some exercises and keep it all warm, especially in cold countries. Worst gig of my life. I'll never forget. I'm not going to say where it was or the venue, but there was no kettle. They offered me hot tap water in a plastic cup with no tea. And I was like, what am I going to do? You don't understand, as a singer, you need hot water and tea to keep things fluid and going in cold countries, or you're just going to get ill. And I got pneumonia and got flown back from Scotland with pneumonia. So bring a flask of hot water. Eat hours before you go on stage. Don't eat before you go on stage. As much as possible, I know it's difficult, but avoid the 2 p.m. kebab after you've played, because that will also slowly kill you. I hope that's been useful. Enjoy and love live music, and at some point I hope you get to come and see the Rob Chapman band live. We've got all sorts of stuff kicking off next year. Take it easy. Chappers out. Love you guys.